Welcome to the Helix webinar series. Today's session is on Helix Discovery. It's a year in review. Today's session is the APAC India session, and we will be running a session later. So if you do have any colleagues or team members that are in more the US and EMEA region, we will be running the session, and that will be at 4 p.m. BST later. So today, joining me on this morning session, Matt Lammy, our lead product manager. I will get him to do a formal introduction shortly. Before we get started, a reminder, we have a Q&A section at the bottom of Zoom you'll be able to find. If you do have any questions during the session, while Matt is working through the slides, please put them into the Q&A section and we will answer those roughly with around 15 minutes towards the end, where we'll take your questions live. So you will remain muted until we get to the end. Before we go into the introduction, just a reminder, we are covering roadmap slides, so just take a minute to glaze over the legal notice. Obviously, we try to get as much as we can into the product development, but we can't always guarantee this. So I'm now going to hand over formally to Matt. Matt, if you can do an introduction and let's get us started.
Thanks, Sam. Hello there. I'm Matt Lambie. I'm a lead product manager for BMC Discovery over here. I've worked with Discovery for about 15 years now, and I'm a huge advocate of being able to talk to everyone today to ensure that we are very aware of where we come from and where we're going to with Discovery. So with that, let's jump in. So why Discovery? One of the things that we IT teams are facing today is the huge challenge of understanding what we have, what's out there, what IT assets do we have then, and how are they supporting our business? And then we need to know what we have, what is running on them, are they licensed, are there any vulnerabilities? The ability to have all this data and this awareness centralized is where Discovery comes into the equation. Ultimately, without Discovery, you can't manage what you can't see. And what is Discovery? Well, it's a SaaS-based, cloud-first discovery tool for finding your IT assets, finding the dependency mappings between your assets, and ultimately being able to bring all that data together in one central place, whether it's assets in the cloud, on premise, in a hybrid solution, whatever you've got, wherever you've got it. Discovery can help you understand what you have and what state it may or may not be in. So I thought we'd just take time today to look at what we've done over the past year, look at some of the headline features that have been brought into Discovery to demonstrate some of the direction that we've had over the past year. And secondly, to look at some of the areas that we're focusing on going forward. Anyone who's worked with Discovery for a fair length of time will know that we are super good at the traditional login, scan something, whether that be storage, network, servers, whatever you have in your infrastructure space, the traditional login, scan it, run some queries, bread and butter work. What we've been looking at over certainly over the past year and focusing on is the more modern technologies and the more modern methods for interacting with your tooling, whether that be more secure methods with something like PowerShell, where we're using just enough administration, the ability to grant minimal permissions at the right time to allow Discovery to do its job in a safe and secure manner. One of the other technologies that we all will know and love is APIs. Everything is with an API nowadays, whether that be your cloud providers, whether that be your containerization software, whether that just be your vCenters. Everything is managed by API. So we've done a huge amount of work to bring new capabilities with Kubernetes and OpenShift and Rancher Discovery via API to be able to communicate with the technology in a way that you know. And then accessing and improving existing capabilities. So we've had VMware vCenter Discovery via API to scan your hosts and your VMs. And one of the things we brought in this year has been the ability to access your guests via SSO access. And that was brought in fact, it's due for release in the next couple of weeks. So in the next release. And as we've shown there, we've gone further with the APIs. So with cloud, the ability to merge and bring together your scans. So traditionally, you may have had a scan of a technology, whether that be cloud or vCenter or something that's a virtualization technology to gain awareness of virtual machines. And then you would have had a secondary scan to directly scan your virtual infrastructure, such as your Windows and your Linux servers. And we've worked to do all of that via your APIs. So using AWS SSM to log into your AWS virtual machines, using virtual machines access via IAP and IAM to really maintain that level of data quality that you have in Discovery via traditional SSH PowerShell scanning of a server. Everyone hasn't missed this slide. We are going to hand these slides out after the presentation. So if anyone has missed anything in that previous part of conversation, please feel free to drop us a line, and we're happy to talk about them further. So as mentioned previously, we've done a lot of work on API scanning. And one of the things that we have recently brought in, again, it's coming in the next releases, is discovery of your cloud Kubernetes environment using your existing cloud. So today, you may have a cloud scan of AWS or of Azure or Oracle, and we would highlight awareness that you have Kubernetes. But then to do the Kubernetes scan of the cluster, you would have to have a second scan specifically with a different credential for the Kubernetes clusters. With this release, we bring the ability to do all of that with a single scan. So if you grant permissions to the Kubernetes or for the API credentials for your cloud, we will see the existence of Kubernetes services, and then we will go that extra step to scan the Kubernetes directly. And it's configurable, as highlighted there. You may or may not wish to grant those permissions, but it's the ability to do more with less. So a lot of time can be saved by only having one scan, only having one credential that's managed by your security teams or your access teams to grant certain permissions to those relevant pieces of your estates. So as mentioned there, no need to have separate scans anymore. It's a 2-into-1. It's a 2-into-1 on credentials, 2-into-1 on your scans. It allows you to point something at say cloud, and it will find everything or more of what's there, just as the virtual machine scanning. So API scan of Azure, of AWS, of Oracle, to then go into those services that you're running in your cloud. Something that has migrated, if you like. So a lot of the AIOps tech capabilities are fundamentally consuming discovery data. And one thing that we've really benefited from is bringing the blueprint capability directly into discovery. So for any AIOps customers out there, you may well have seen this blueprints console within your AIOps capabilities. We have moved that capability so you can now access it wherever you feel more comfortable, whether that be in AIOps, whether that be directly in Discovery. You can do the same functions. You can build blueprints and services from within your chosen tech capability based on discovery data, creating your hierarchies, creating your services in the place that's most relevant to yourself, to deliver that very quick, fast assessment of your estate to allow discovery and the tooling to manage the content of your services whilst having the speed of efficiency to be able to understand the impact to your estate on any given issue that may occur, any performance, any events, all in the context of the service model at pace. So no longer having to manually create services and record changes and reference a change record to gain awareness of a change in your service. With the blueprinting, you can define the rules. You can allow discovery to see the changes in your estate and manage the content of your services all directly from within discovery. And as the screenshot there shows, this is actually from the AI Ops console to demonstrate the synergy between the tooling, to show that they are one set of data when you're looking at your item management. Now, referencing anyone who's used Discovery for a while will know that we have end-of-life data. We are spending time at the moment enriching that experience. So bringing more data into the environment, not just missing end-of-life data, a new date on a new piece of software, but to actually allow you to recognize when something's missing. So, or why it's missing. So new attributes such as a definition for why there is nothing there. There's a failure reason now. The vendor hasn't supplied a date, or we have not been able to find a date. So to actually be able to report on the negatives as well as the positives. And one of the big things that we did was to allow that data to be sent to the CNDB. So with CNDB 23.3 forwards, there were out-of-the-box attributes and fields available for us to map into. So all of that great data that we've had in Discovery is now forwarded by default to the CNDB across operating system, software, hardware. All of that data is pushed over where available in CNDB. Bringing up the Discovery to non-technical users, a fantastic release. I believe this was 23.3, I think, is the Visual Query Builder. So if you know a tool, if you know the data, if you know the schemas, you can very quickly create your reports. But what happens for those non-technical users who are not in Discovery day to day, and they just need to access data to present or to consume in a simple method to allow them to not be having to understand the data schema in Discovery? Visual Query Builder answers this question. The ability to look at a screen, a visualization, or a page of reference for a host record, and build a report that based on that information to say, I need a server that's got, and show me all the software, or show me all the servers with SQL Server on, and the ability to create those reports in a visual manner for non-technical users. It's a fantastic proposition that we've released. When we're looking at Discovery, we don't always work in isolation. One of the things that we're very aware of is that we may be interacting with a mature CNDB where there are existing business services, existing manually created, existing created by other sources than Discovery. So traditionally, we synchronize information and applications over to the CNDB. And a common use case was for customers or ITSM users to create manually create a business service CI and relate those applications as created by and populated by Discovery to relate those two pieces together. And with AI Ops, we want to be able to bring that data back into Discovery to consume in your AI Ops space, maybe to do more of the creation and management of those services from within Discovery itself. So we brought in CNDB Service Sync, which is we push those applications over via CNDB Sync, the traditional method of sending data to the import data sets. As they've come into being propagated up to the asset class and had this manual creation of business service CIs, we then plug back into the CMDB sync and ask, in asset, do you have any related business services to the applications that were created by Discovery, by myself? Do I have any parent business services? If so, we ingest those back into Discovery to allow a much more overall holistic view of your services in your estate. And ultimately for consumption with AI Ops as a use case, they become immediately available there for monitoring, for capacity, for the AI Ops journey. And as we all know, the content is our absolute core of what we have. We have thousands of patterns, as we all know. And some of the things that we've worked on over the past 3 months is a focus on cloud services. So I'm not going to read everything on screen. We all know what comes out every month. But one of the areas that I'll draw attention to is the cloud area on the left, is doing the deep dive on services. We've done a lot with Azure recently, with the Azure services. So when we scan a cloud environment, we create service awareness and resource awareness. But we go back as desire is built up or new services come online from the providers. And then we'll do the extra mile, create the patterns, create the software instances and the resources and the deep dive and the configuration on those services. And that's an area of ongoing focus for us. I'm just going to stop for a moment. Can everyone still hear me? Am I still being clear enough? Is that better?
Yeah, just keep talking to the camera.
Excellent, thank you. So one of the things that is a great innovation for BMC is the ability to ingest data into Discovery for the AIOps consumption. And with intelligent integrations, we have the ability to create records from beyond the horizon. So not scanning Discovery, talking to other tooling that may already have awareness of your technologies, talking to Dynatrace, talking to potentially even your CMDB, to ingest data into Discovery to allow for service modeling, for awareness, for the whole AIOps journey, without necessarily having that direct touch point onto your estate at first glance. And as soon as that data comes in, it can be modeled. It's then available to the AIOps consoles for event management, capacity management, creating that situational awareness of your environment. And to date, I believe we have, there you go, 36. And 15 of them are providing topology data. So this is talking to another technology. 36 of them will be ingesting metric data for, say, event. 15 of those will be bringing topology data, so creating hosts, networks, the device records for creation of services. And then I thought we'd spend a little bit of time talking to where we're looking to go in the future. So a little bit of an overview of some of the headlines that are coming in the next release, and a bit of just a nod to the direction of travel for us in the next year to 18 months. So on screen, we've got a few of the items and areas that we look to spend our time on. A couple of big ones. We've got extension of cloud, that ongoing interaction with the cloud environments, whether that be new cloud providers or new ways of interacting, and more data quality out of your cloud services. Deep container. So looking at the ability to work in context, run Discovery in the context of your cloud, of your containers. Obviously, all day, every day, TKU. They are our crown jewels, and we will always look to make sure that we do as much as we can every single day to respond to feedback from yourselves. on your areas of focus at the moment and to see how that can be a benefit in the TKU. Looking to scale, make sure scale and performance, ongoing exercise, as with any technology, always looking to make it quicker, faster, sharper where possible. Data exchange. So looking at data coming in from external sources, maybe with intelligent integrations or with an API interaction, is that data always as rich as the data you would expect from discovery? And does the data that we provide to other technologies deliver the same richness? So if we have something in discovery, such as end-of-life data, can we look to provide more to another consumer? And management of discovery. So something coming in the next couple of releases is the ability to manage your outposts via API. And we're going to just skip through a couple of impending releases, features for the next release. And one of them, very exciting on this one, is the ability to have a new synchronization connection. So the DSM sync, as it's called, inferred sync within the technology, is the ability to pass the inferred data, not the directly discovered data. So with discovery consolidation as is today, which is not going away, it will still be there, is the ability to only send your results data, the inferred data, to another instance of discovery. So for customers who may have on-premise scanners or on-premise appliances who wish to benefit from the AIOps stories with Helix SaaS, this brings the ability to send that inferred data up to another instance of discovery in the cloud and to consume for service modeling, for CNDB integrations, for the ability to have the whole of Helix solutions from discovery with a minimal requirement for setting everything up again, the ability to maintain that on-premise solution. You have it brings the ability to maintain that data that may be sensitive to you, processes, running configurations, the ability to maintain that data on site whilst sending the inferred data to cloud to do your service modeling, your AI ops journey. BGP technologies. So looking more at network relationships at a network level. So the next release will have BGP discovery, looking for that peer relationship between your network devices and defining relationships that you can then consume again in your services, but to gain an overall awareness from a network layer, how your network is put together. The management APIs, sorry. So with the outposts, we are bringing you the ability to, as you can see from the options there, add, configure, maintain everything on your outpost via an API. So you can programmatically, excuse me, you can programmatically maintain your environment. An ongoing journey, this one, is the ability to do more. So as we spoke about earlier with virtual machine scanning in AWS via SSM or Oracle Cloud, or just automatically going in from the API into your services. And here we're looking at the Azure virtual machines and the Oracle Cloud computes, the ability to implicitly go into those services and go and do the deep discovery, whether that's Kubernetes scanning, whether that's virtual machine scanning, anything that's in cloud that may be running, it's doing the more for less. So automatically scanning, as with vCenter VM guest scanning, we gave you the ability to say yes, if you see something, go and scan it, based on the abilities that that whatever permissions you grant to that account that is doing the scanning, we will try to do the best that is available to us. Deep container. Big piece of work, I will say. One of the initial things that we're looking at is to look at software in context. So today we will tell you that you have Apache running on your worker nodes. Tomorrow we're hoping that we are going to bring the ability to have software in the context of your containers. So if you have multiple containers with different versions of Nginx running on them, we will bring you the awareness that you have 27 instances of Nginx running and all these different versions, and to really deliver on the software management and asset management data that you expect from discovery. So that supports and underpins your end of life projects, your obsolescence. It supports your licensing. It supports your version control. So therefore your risk and vulnerability management by bringing that ability, that visibility of your software in those containers. And then the next step is to look at how are those containers interacting with each other, with other resources outside of Kubernetes. So to look at where those containers fit into your organization. And again, bringing that ability to put them in the context of their service delivery. And as we know, it's always the ongoing opportunity to do more with this, with the content, with the TKU. So things on the backlog at the moment include deep discovery of items in Azure. We've got VPC discovery going on with Google Cloud. And I won't read too much across the page, but just always adding more new versions, new capabilities, deeper discovery on any given item to really ensure that we maintain that richness of data in discovery. And with that, did just want to bring some awareness, because I know that there can be a few hyperlinks across the internet that take us to different places. So hopefully this information on screen will allow you to find those pages that maybe you didn't find previously. So talking to some of the cloud, the content reference pages where you can see what's come out in the most recent releases and historical releases, what's new in the content. Looking at some modeling, if any of you are looking to start the modeling journey. I won't talk to any of the rest, but ultimately, hopefully that's a center point for you guys to have a look through the data. And then we're always looking for the opportunities to work more with you all, to collaborate, to go through that journey of bringing more capability into the product. So please feel free to reach out, and I'll actually the next slide. Please feel free to reach out if there's any areas of interest that you think you may want to collaborate with us on. We'd love to speak to you all. That's a more accurate photo of myself, I will call that out. Please feel free to contact any of the product management team. More than happy to have a conversation, and really looking forward to some conversations.
And this is where we'll post, obviously, our recording from today and this afternoon with Brian. So if any of you aren't aware, we do have a YouTube channel. So any webinars that you join, depending on what the product is, it will be in the particular channel. So this is how you can subscribe. And again, we will be sharing these slides out, so you will be able to get access to all of these links that we're sharing today.
And just to support Sam, every video that I've seen on there, fantastic. Not just my own. And I'd like to say thank you for spending some time with us this morning. I'm going to jump into the next slide now, which is the one where we open the floor a bit. Thank you for the opportunity to see what we've been up to and where we're going.
Yeah, we don't have any questions at the moment. Hopefully, if any of you have, I'm just going to give you the opportunity to speak with us live, please either raise your hand or come off mute. I know we've got a bigger audience this afternoon because this time doesn't always work for everyone. So we have got another session that's run at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And just why we're given the opportunity for those that's still on to speak with us. Back on the design partnership piece, we work very close with our product UX team, in particular the product management team. They get you to sign up, and once you've signed up, we will start sharing beta testing. There's opportunities to get more involved on the product direction, so I would highly recommend it. Angela couldn't be with us today, she's based in the US, but she would normally have walked you through those slides today. Thanks for Matt for bringing that up. So if you do have your phone, you can use that QR code. Otherwise, the click here, when we share the slides out, that will take you to a link. Okay, we have a very silent audience this morning, so I don't know if anyone has any questions with what Matt's shared with you today. We're going to try to get another session in next quarter. We were very conscious that we haven't done a roadmap session for quite some time, so hopefully that's been useful. I'm going to be working with Matt and his wider team on other webinars. I don't know, Matt, if you want to just sort of maybe give an overview of some of the webinars that you've also done, which I will share out on the thank you email in the next 24 or so hours. If anyone wants to watch any other discovery sessions, I don't know if you want to just sort of discuss
Absolutely.
those.
So an area of focus for product management has been to bring focus to the corners of discovery that maybe were not so well known, or to bring out the question and the conversation on how we can consume the features for all purposes of discovery. So an example may be a conversation recently on blueprinting, not the ins and outs on which buttons to press, but more on the how may you use this feature to apply to your outcomes. A recent video that we did was on the lesser known feature of custom nodes. So for the more technical people, the ability to create your own node types outside of the taxonomy for those cases where you maybe don't need to see it in a visual in Discovery, but you want to be able to create some reports or push that data to another source, such as your CMDB. And coming up, we're going to be looking at CMDB sync mappings, maybe just running through, not necessarily the highly technical ins and outs of every function of a sync mapping, but actually creating one for ourselves and creating some custom data, or customizing and changing the way data is formatted into your CMDB. And then I think we've got another one talking to custom reporting. So with SaaS, anyone who has the on-prem appliance will remember that you have the ability to upload some XML to the server that creates your custom dashboards, your custom graphs and content, and you can customize the front screen for Discovery to really drive out your persona that you're looking for to consume data out of Discovery. With Helix SaaS, and now with the appliance, that's now available via the console. So it's looking at how we can do that. How do we create the XML? What does the XML look like? If we upload a file, what do we do? How does it look? How do we access that in Discovery? So looking at some of those pieces of Discovery to draw out, didn't know that was there, I'll go and have a play with it. And then we have a huge amount of content from our other teams with those much shorter videos that really allow you to find out how to do something. So I don't know what that button does. I'll go and watch that video. If I click it, how do I set this up? So there's a huge amount of amazing content for those sort of very bite-sized moments where you just need to know, if I click this button, what does that setting mean? Well, you can go and see a video to do one. So that's some of the stuff that we've got going on at the moment. And then obviously, as Sam's mentioning, we're looking to do much more of the interaction, the state of play conversations such as today.